Hey, what's up? It is Dan, and today I want to talk about just an issue that's been coming up a lot with our transformation gym that we own up in Markham, and it's a conversation I've been having with a lot of women, and the conversation has been usually with the girls who have already transformed their bodies and have pretty much been with our program for about 1 to 2 years, and it's essentially a loaded topic, and it is about weight, and it is about whether or not weight actually matters. There's actually a very insidious little thing going on in the industry right now, where a lot of people are going up and saying that weight has no bearing on your has no bearing on your results, your health, and whatnot. It should have like no bearing on how you look whatsoever. And a lot of times people like to do a big correlation and say your weight does not matter. And what I'm going to say is that's totally BS. Okay, you can't say things like that and then have someone that's about 250 pounds, like 5'5", pretty overweight, and giving them that type of advice, because in that context, your weight does matter. It is a detriment to your health. And if you don't lose the weight, if that person does not lose the weight, then they are essentially headed for an early grave. So in that context, the weight does matter, okay? But what about the context of a girl who has already transformed her body, who has lost a lot of weight, who has gotten to probably, I would say, in terms of percentage points, although we don't really measure body fat, you could say the girl is essentially at maybe anywhere between 18 to 15% body fat, like super lean, pretty much in the best shape of her life, and at that point, does weight matter? And what I'm going to say is, at that point, weight does not matter, actually. And if you focus in on the actual weight, it could put you into such a downward spiral, because at that point, you're associating your image along with how much you weigh. Because when you get leaner and when you get down to, I'm not going to say like fitness model shape, but I'm going to say down to pretty much below what the average body fat percentages of the people that are out there. What I'm going to say is that at a certain point in time in your journey, you have to disassociate your image from your weight, okay? When you have changed your body, and to put into context, when you are fitting into clothes that you haven't fit into for like the past 3 to 4 years, for the longest time, when you have started to fit into clothes that you started to fit into back when you're in high school, when you start to be a certain dress size that you haven't been before, and when you start to fit into pants that you've never fit into before, essentially when you're getting into your leanest shape, that is the point of time where you have to disassociate from how much you actually weigh. I know countless of examples of women who see maybe like a 1 to 5, 10 pound weight gain in terms of what they see on the scale, but when they talk to me, they're like, but I look better than I've ever looked before. I'm fitting into clothes I've never fit into before in my entire life, but it's the weight that stresses me out. And this is what I'm going to say to you, and I know like me saying this is not going to change a lot of people's minds, but what I am going to say is, and I hope I'm bringing awareness to the fact that if you are at a certain part of your journey where you are at your leanest that you've ever been before, or you are at your leanest that you've been in a long time, you have to understand that your weight does not matter anymore. And here's an example. So it's proven by research that if you're doing a weight training program, you're going to gain about on the high side, you're going to gain about like 2 pounds of muscle per year. On the average side, you're going to gain about like 1 pound of muscle per year. And of course, we all know that muscle is a lot denser than fat is. and it does weigh more. I'm not saying that, I'm not gonna do the whole comparison between 5 pounds of muscle equals 5 pounds of fat, because 5 pounds equals 5 pounds. But what I'm gonna say is, in terms of just total density, you know, a pound of fat is a lot denser than, or actually, a pound of muscle is actually a lot denser and will look a lot better on your body and will actually make you look a lot smaller than an actual pound of muscle. And we're not talking about how much it weighs, we're talking about how it looks. So put into consideration, you've been working out for maybe 1 to 2 years, you've been gaining about 1 to 2 pounds of muscle per year. Let's just say that at your lowest body weight, you're maybe, let's make it just, you know, very simple, you're 100 pounds. Doing a weight training program, and you know, if you are lifting heavy, which I hope you are, the thing is that you're going to be gaining about 1 to 2 pounds per year. Let's just say you've worked out for about 2 years. You've probably gained anywhere between 2 to 4 pounds. Does this matter in terms of what results you're getting? It does not matter, because first of all, if you are at your leanest state and you're about 4 pounds heavier than you normally are, then that should make a correlation in your mind that, you know, you have a lot more muscle on your body than body fat. Okay? The other thing is that, you know, you're placing an emphasis too much on the weight, when the actual trifecta of results, the real things that matter is, you know, the first thing is like your inches. Okay, so here's the trifecta. I'm going to do a triangle right here. So here's the trifecta. The top two are the most important. These are the ones that essentially support each other. It's your inches and the way that your clothes feel. Okay? Those are the most important, and those are the ones that you should place like the most emphasis on. The bottom one is your weight. I'm not going to say that, you know, within like 6 months you gain like 15 pounds. Should you not care about that anymore? Because I'm going to say it's almost like impossible for you to, like, you know, gain 15 pounds of muscle within the 6-month period. So we have to understand, does our habits and does what we're eating and all this kind of stuff correlate, you know, with that weight gain, you know? So what I'm trying to get here, and actually one more thing that I want to point out is that, you know, your weight is actually dependent upon so many things, not just your muscle, not just your fat, but also the organs in your body, the amount of water you retain, that time of the month. All of these things matter in relation to your mass. And I want to even just like change the way that we're talking about weight and just call it mass, because that's what it actually is. Okay, when we're talking about weight, we're talking about the amount of mass that's in your body at that particular time. How much poo do you have in your body? How much are you retaining? How much water are you retaining right now? What did you eat the previous day? All of this stuff matters. Does that mean that you're fatter than before? Absolutely not. It just means that you're just heavier. So to bring everything, you know, into full circle, does your weight matter? In the context of a girl who is just starting her transformation journey, you know, she probably is maybe like 40 to 50 pounds overweight, and we're talking about BMI scale overweight. It works in some cases, sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes it makes people like go crazy, but let's just say you're about like 40 to 50 pounds overweight, then definitely weight does matter. Okay, and and getting that weight off is important, not just to look good. I mean, like, for sure it's a vanity thing, but just to live longer. Okay, the second thing in the second part of the context is that if you're already in the best shape of your life and you're pretty much like fitting into clothes you've never fit into before on a consistent basis, and your weight does go up, then you have to be you have to understand to disassociate your image away from the weight, because in the first part of your journey it did matter. On the second part of your journey, it doesn't matter so much anymore. And that's all I want to say. I really hope this this kind of educates you and kind of like starts to plant a seed and change your mind, especially if you're in that second part of your transformation journey, to understand that we shouldn't start attaching our images, and we shouldn't start attaching whether or not we're getting results to the actual weight that's staring at us in the scale. And girls, you're not the only ones that care about this. Guys care about this too. So you're not the only ones that actually have this almost like image association. So to close it all up, I'm gonna say that you have to understand which part of your journey that you're in right now, and try to be as honest with yourself as possible. And the second thing I want to say is that, you know, regardless of whatever happens, I mean, when we get to that second part of our journey, you know, sure, the weight doesn't matter. The main thing we have to do is we have to put a big emphasis on the actual things that do matter. And that's it. You know, I hope you have a great day, and I'm gonna get a workout right now, and I'm definitely not gonna weigh myself on the scale or anything like that. And at some point of your journey, you're going to have to throw away your scale too. So, hope you have a great day, and peace.